Deep beneath the dry, wind-swept land of Cappadocia, there is a secret, not a ruin, not a tomb, but a city that was never meant to be seen. Its name is Derinkuyu, underground city. And once you understand why it exists, you begin to realize something unsettling. This wasn't built for comfort, it was built for fear. Walk with me as I take you on another journey through the eyes of history. Imagine living your entire life on the ground. No sunlight, no sky, no horizon. Just narrow tunnels, stone walls, and the constant knowledge that something above you is hunting. This is not fiction, this is history. But the deeper you go into Derinkuyu, the less it feels like survival, and the more it feels like hiding from something we still don't fully understand. In 1963, a man in a quiet Turkish town knocked down a wall in his basement. It was supposed to be a simple renovation, but behind that wall, there was a tunnel, not a small one, a carved passage leading into darkness. He stepped inside, curious, but the tunnel didn't end. It went deeper and deeper and deeper. What he had discovered wasn't a hidden room, it was an entrance to an entire underground world, a city that had been sleeping beneath the earth for centuries. Derinkuyu is not just a cave, it is a fully engineered underground city, carved into soft volcanic rock. It descends at least 18 levels deep. That's deeper than a modern apartment building. But what makes it truly disturbing is not its depth, it's its design. This city could hold up to 20,000 people, families, children, animals, all living beneath the ground. There were kitchens, storage rooms, wine presses, schools, even churches. But here's the part that changes everything. There were ventilation shafts, perfectly engineered to bring air down from the surface. There were wells that provided water without exposing the people to the outside. There were massive stone doors, circular slabs that could roll into place and seal entire sections, not to keep something in, but to keep something out. Historians believe the earliest part of Derinkuyu dates back to the Phrygians around the 8th century BCE, but it didn't stay small, it expanded. Generation after generation kept digging deeper, widening tunnels, adding layers. But civilizations usually build upward. They build towers, cities that reach for the sky. Derinkuyu did the opposite. It went down. Because whoever lived here wasn't trying to be seen, they were trying to disappear. Picture this, you wake up on the ground. The air is cold, still, slightly damp. There is no sunrise to guide your day, but routines exist. People cook in stone ovens, children whisper in narrow corridors, animals shift in enclosed stables. Life continues, but always with tension, because above them, there is danger. Historians say these cities were used as refuges during invasions. When enemies came, entire populations would vanish underground. Days would pass, weeks sometimes, but the doors stayed sealed. No one went out because survival depended on silence. The stone doors of Derinkuyu are massive, round, heavy, almost impossible to move from the outside. Once closed, they turned sections of the city into isolated chambers. If one part was breached, the others could survive. But think about what that means. If something went wrong inside, there was no escape. You were trapped, not by enemies above, but by the very system meant to protect you. Living on the ground isn't just physically difficult, it changes the mind. No sunlight affects the body, no open space affects perception. Time becomes unclear, days blend together, but the real fear is this: you don't know when it's safe to go back up, so you wait and you listen. Every sound matters, a distant vibration or a faint echo. Is it footsteps above, or is it something else? Derinkuyu was not alone. It was connected to other underground cities through tunnels stretching for kilometers. One of them, Sky Maklo, is another massive subterranean complex. This wasn't a single refuge. It was an entire hidden civilization, a world beneath the world. But that raises a disturbing question. If people went to such extreme lengths to hide, what were they so afraid of? War explains part of the story: invasions, conflicts, survival. But Derinkuyu feels excessive, too deep, too complex, too permanent. This wasn't built for short-term escape. It was built for something prolonged, something recurring, something that made people believe the safest place in the world was beneath it. Today, Derinkuyu is empty. Tourists walk its tunnels, they take pictures, they marvel at the engineering, but the silence remains heavy, uncomfortable. Because when you stand in those narrow corridors, you realize something chilling. This place was not built out of curiosity, it was built out of fear. And whatever that fear was, it was powerful enough to drive thousands of people to abandon the sky and choose darkness instead. Thank you guys for watching. Do well to like, comment, subscribe, and walk with me again through the eyes of history.